What is going on, guys? We have Thursday Night Football tonight between the Rams and the 49ers. Should definitely be an interesting one with the injury situations and all. I'll touch on that in this video. We'll find some plays using Outlier, see what we could do, and find some winning picks for us over on Underdog Fantasy. Quick reminder before I get into everything, though, that this video is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. And if you don't have an account with Underdog yet, sign up using the code LayTheHouseRM and you'll get a deposit match bonus up to $1,000 when you initially sign up. After you place your first entry for $5, they will give you $50 for free just for playing on the app. And lastly, they are running a sweet promotion called Boostober, where they're giving you a 30% boost on every single entry on Underdog Fantasy. Really nice payout boost for everybody. The first two promos are only for new users, but use code LayTheHouseRM when you sign up with Underdog Fantasy. That's my preferred app to use, and that's the one where I place most of my slips on that you'll find for my VIP package. If you want to see every single bet that I place, now I do this free content, the free videos, the posts on Twitter, posts on TikTok, stuff all over the place for free. If you want to see every single slip I'm actually placing with my money, though, you'll have to sign up for the premium VIP package. And if you want a 7-day free trial for that, use the link located in the description below. I write up a really good article every week of a bunch of player props and spreads, survivor picks, everything you want to see for the NFL. And you can get that for 7 days for free just by using the link in the description below. Now let's head over to Outlier. We'll take a look at this game today. I'm kind of just going to go position by position for the most part here. I'm going to skip quarterback because I don't really want to take anything on the passing yards this week. I'm mainly just going to touch on a couple specific situations. So the first one here, the big elephant in the room, is this injury situation for the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be without Ricky Pearsall. They're going to be without Jawan Jennings. Mac Jones is going to be the starting quarterback because Brock Purdy is out. They're basically a mess. They're already missing Kittle and Ayuk. It's just total shambles for the 49ers right now. Very thin offense, but I do think it's going to flow through a few certain guys. The first guy, obviously, is Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's the number one guy on this team. He's got a prop of 121 and a half rush and receiving yards. McCaffrey, he plays 82.6% of the snaps and has 65% of the rush attempts this year. And he leads the team with a 27.5% target share, probably one of the only running backs in the league who leads their team in targets, and that might even be increased even more this week. The matchup this week is pretty difficult for him. So the Rams allow only 72.8 rushing yards to running backs this year and 11.5 receiving yards. So they might try to neutralize him, which means the 49ers are going to need to find other options. Who are these other options going to be? For one, I think Kendrick Bourne is going to fill in to the Ricky Pearsall role. Let's head over to his player card here. He did play a decent amount of snaps last week. He ran a route on about 67 and a half snaps last week. His prop line is set at 39 and a half receiving yards. Obviously, he hasn't gone over that at all this year because he's not a full-time player. He's like the fifth wide receiver on this offense, and now he's the number one. So I do think he's going to have a really good game tonight, though. And just really pick your poison, though, because you have Kendrick Bourne, who's probably going to go into the Ricky Pearsall role. You have Demarcus Robinson, who's kind of going to be the deep threat guy in there. He might only get like 3 or 4 targets, but they're probably going to be over the top, and he might be able to hit like a longest reception prop or something like that for you. And then you have Sky Moore, who might mix in as a gadget guy, maybe 1 or 2 screens. I'd assume kickoff returns. He never really panned out to much in the Chiefs besides that. So pretty much it's going to be a pretty condensed offense. Heading over to the tight ends. Jake Tungus, he is the guy, and he's probably the safest option outside of Bourne and McCaffrey for this game today. How do I spell his name? Tungus. Jake Tungus here. His prop is set at 27 and a half receiving yards. Last week, he had 3 receptions for 58 yards and a touchdown against the Jags. The Rams are giving up 49.2 receiving yards per game to tight ends this season. Tungus will get most of the tight end snaps. There's really no one to compete with him in this since George Kittle is out. And it's just a solid matchup for him. So he's probably the one who's going to have a really good opportunity to go over this number, but it's really pick your poison. So I'd probably go with one of Bourne, Tungus, or Robinson, leaning towards Bourne and Tungus if you want to go with the two of them, and then combining it with someone over on the Rams, who I'm about to talk about here. So that's the recap on the 49ers situation. Now in the Rams, it's a little bit more straightforward because there's really not any injuries we need to worry about. Kyler Williams, he is the bell cow for the Rams, 73% of the snaps and 63.6% of the team's rushing attempts. And then there's Blake Corum, who mixes in with about 31% of the rushing attempts on 25% of the snaps. Last week is a little bit closer to a 50-50 split, though. So Kyron only had 13 carries as compared to Blake Corum's 9. Kyron did fumble though, so maybe he was in the doghouse for a drive or two, and Corum got a little extra run there. But basically, let me pull up Kyron's card though, because he is actually fourth in the team in targets. And so, looking at the matchup with San Francisco, San Francisco has allowed the fifth least receiving yards to running backs this season, and the 19th most rushing yards to running back this season too. So not a great receiving situation for Kyron, but a really good rushing situation for Kyron, especially with the Rams potentially winning this one. You know, it's a 6.5 point. It's actually 8.5 point spread now. It opened up at a 6.5 point spread. So I'd assume the Rams are going to win this one. If we look at games where the Rams won over the last couple of years, let's say last 10 wins or so, Kyron's gone over this number in 7 out of 10 games. Let me switch over to the over so it shows green for you. He's gone over this number in 7 out of 10 games, never going below 69. So he's got a solid floor for him. I mean, if you really want to take an alt line, that's 69.5. You could probably get over on PrizePicks. 59.5, more lock. To be honest with you, I would definitely take that line for the rush receiving yards as like a parlay filler. But solid prop nonetheless for Kyrie Williams. In the receivers for the Rams, it's a two-man group. You know, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Puka, he's a different beast this year. 36.5% target share, which is just an insane number. He leads the league in targets, receptions, and yards. 50 targets, 42 receptions, 503 yards. And then we have Devontae Adams, who is leading the league in red zone targets. So this passing offense is absolutely elite. It's super condensed between these two guys. Really good for fantasy, really good for props because you know these guys are going to get volume. The tight end isn't really involved much. Tyler Higbee did miss a practice earlier this week. I'm not fully sure if he's going to play or not. I'd have to check the injury report, but really he has no impact. He has like an 8% target share, so I really don't even need to consider him. And it's a difficult matchup against the 49ers for him too. But there is a prop that I love on Devontae Adams this week. And that prop is going to be over 21.5 yards on the longest reception. He's gone over this number in all 4 games this season, actually going over 24 every single time. And if I scroll down here, I can see all the players who had a reception of 20 or more yards against the 49ers this year. JSN had 40 yards, Cooks had 20. Shaheed, 39-yard reception. Marvin Harrison, 32-yard reception. Travis Hunter, a 28-yard reception. So all these players had at least one catch against this 49ers defense. I think Adams continues this trend this week and has at least one catch over 22 yards. This line was actually, I think, 20.5 when I posted it on Tuesday, and it's slowly starting to tick up. So jump on it before it moves even further. But that's a couple of free plays for you guys and my analysis of the game. I do think the 49ers probably cover that 8.5 number. The NFL games tend to be a bit closer than you would generally expect, especially these ugly Thursday primetime games. You never know what's going to happen. But if you want to see every bet that I place, like I mentioned before, you got to join the VIP. Get a 7-day free trial in the description below. Join my free Discord server too. Be an active member of the community. You know, join in, post your plays, post your analysis, post your bad beats, your wins, you know, just be an active member. And last but definitely not least, best of luck on your bets this week, everybody.